Hello and welcome to the show. Today we are going to have another vehicle take on our Hot Wheels Showdown course in an attempt to go faster than this Holden Commodore. The Holden having sat at the top of the table for quite some time now, as in still enjoying a relatively large gap over the rest of the field. However, the particular car I'm going to be using, I don't know, as it is once more down to the gods of Forza to decide on our vehicle. They could be kind and give us a Subaru Legacy like last time, or they could be mean and give us a Rolls Royce. Who knows? Now, the way that this works, we're going to head to the auction house. The car must be able to get S1 class with race or Hot Wheels compound tyres, essentially race tyres on it. We will pick the 21st car from the list, and we are discounting Horizon editions because of the obscene price. So we shall start. A Pursuit Ute is the first car on the list, so that is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and a 20. And of course, if the car has been driven around the course previous, that one there will also not be picked. The 20th car is a Lamborghini Murcielago. The next car is going to be the one that we use, and it is a 22B, but it has been sold, so not available, therefore it won't be the 22B. It will instead be, no, it won't be a Horizon Edition Polaris buggy either, because it's a Horizon Edition, so the next car, it's going to be a Ferrari Dino. Okay then, a Ferrari Dino, there might be potential in this car. You know, there might be potential in the Dino. It is small, relatively light, can probably get a good engine swap in it, can probably get, I would imagine, the Ferrari V8, the 458 V8, I would, yeah, potentially expect. If not, might be stuck with the inline 6 crappy engine. I say crappy, not as good engine. Tyre widths are probably going to be the car's biggest Achilles heel, as it is... with these classic small Diddy cars, 245s are probably the height of tyre width that we're going to get in the vehicle. I could be wrong though. Having never driven the Dino before, I could be completely and utterly wrong. We've also got a Need for Speed Underground 2 style paint job on. That's definitely going to add a good few horsepower, I reckon. Definitely going to give it some more speed. Anyway, to the upgrade shop. Let's first have a look at engines. What can we get? Turbo Rally, i6, V8. Basically the list of engines that I would have guessed for the car. But that is good news for the Dino's chances. Because it has the option for a V8, we are going to get a good power to weight ratio. I would imagine we're going to get a very high power to weight ratio. The race tyres will jump it up to a top B class car. What are the tyre widths? 245 front. Are we going to have okay rears? Ah, okay. 275 rears. That's better than expected. That might not be too terrible. I'm quite pleasantly surprised. We will stick, of course, the Forza Aero. I need all of the grip that we can possibly get. We have PI left to be able to take off the rear bumper bit. We're then going to attack the handling. We're going to want a lot of grip, really, in the car. As important as straight line speed is and so on around this course, being able to maintain quarter speed through a lot of the high speed turns is equally important. We're going to get down to 2,100 pounds. Remember, this is still with the car's standard engine that's only just got over 100 horsepower. So yeah, we could stick the gearbox in as well. I'd say it's got 195. I lied. Sorry, I don't know why I thought it was a lower number, but okay, it's got just under 200 horsepower. And we're going to be putting in, well, up to 900 horsepower is what we can get from the V8. And when we do stick the V8 in, it'll jump it up to a mid S1 class. So good news in terms of the power department, and in terms of the PI department as well. We're going to be getting plenty of horsepower. Now, do we need a turbocharger on this, or do we need to have an aspiration? Can we keep it naturally aspirated and get away with it? Doesn't look like we'll get it to the top of the class. Looks like we will need some sort of forced induction. I think this engine can only have a turbo, if I remember correctly, but we will go and have a look. Oh no, it can have a centrifugal supercharger if you so wish, but it is nowhere near as effective as twin turbos, so we will go for them. Oops, don't want to go into that category. We've got the engine that I wanted. We will go for the twin turbos. We will upgrade them some. I think we got these before, didn't we? Yeah, I'm fairly sure I got all of these. I just double out. You can get valves. Not that they make a PI point, a singular PI point of difference. And twin turbos, race twin turbos, will jump it up to 860 horsepower. And the top of S1 class. Power to weight ratio wise, it is slightly worse off than the Porsche that we had last time out. It is about 140 horsepower down and a couple of £100 heavier. But tyre wise, it is much better. We have got decent sized tyres on this car. Now we can't put. I was expecting to be able to drop that in and not necessarily change the PI because it adds weight, but we can go for a street intercooler. Gives us more power, more torque, but of course does up the weight. I think I will with the intercooler because I'm kind of sneakily hoping that we can then drop most of that weight out again with clever use of the driveline. That kind of works out. That kind of works out. I will. Can we have a look? See, again, if we can get rid of the rear. Nah, too much. But yeah, 872 horsepower at £2,300. Big power to weight ratio. Not the worst tyres in existence. Might be a contender for certainly going quickly. However, if the Ferrari is to go quickly around this course, it's going to need a fair amount of control. As I said, I'm hoping the big tyres might provide it. The target time for the Dino to try and beat is a 1:32.8, which is so far proving to be a mighty tough benchmark. As I've said in previous episodes, if we can get into the 33s, we're doing pretty bloody well in this car. It could go either way. It could actually be a very, very competitive vehicle, this one, or it could be a real handful to drive. So far, it's driving pretty well, actually. That's reassuring. That is reassuring that we've got this level of grip so far. Is it going to brake sideways coming up the hill? Yes, it is, but not the worst case that we have possibly ever seen in a car. Now, are we going to be a little bit sketchy around that next turn and around here? Can we get more power nice and early? No, not necessarily. Got to be mindful of that oversteer. The straight line speed here is always going to be compromised when you have that bigger a slide, so a little bit useless metric on this opening lap. Again, its top speed will also be of vital importance. If we're not quite as fast through the corners, it's going to need somewhere it can make some time back. So if we struggle around the loop, then that's, again, going to be a nail in the coffin for the Dino. We do only have 5 gears to work with in this car. As we soar through the air, it's a big bounce in the air off of that on the landing that kind of fired its way across that boost pad. It's going to be pretty good though in the old straight line speed department. 225. It beats the Dodge Dart. That's kind of the general metric at the moment for straight line speed, if it can go faster or not than the 222 mark set down by the Dodge Dart. I think I should have changed down to second. Has to have relatively long gears. Well, to compensate for having only 5 gears, they're relatively long ones. It's not necessarily a bad thing, mind. The Sierra and Testarossa both ran with 5 gears, both very quick, and the plus point with having long gears is that you tend to get less wheel spin. You tend to have less issues with an oversteery car. Certainly on power oversteer, it might still be off power that the back end wants to let go, but out of the lower speed corners, you get away with it a little bit more. So it's not necessarily a hindrance around this circuit, although we are having some oversteer issues. I mean, that was almost 170 with still getting things wrong and sliding about in the car. I think there is some good lap time to be had in the Ferrari if we can stop it oversteering. Oh, we've thrown it in very, very hard there, and we've seen it a few times with cars. I haven't figured it out really. I haven't seen it for a little while. When you throw them into that particular corner, they will, if you throw them in very hard, they will just oversteer. They will suddenly snap and you will get huge oversteer. It's increasingly rare, it seems. I've probably found better lines to drive around there. good run of the boost pads to 228. Actually, nice brakes as well on the Dino to get us stopped into that final corner. 35.7, again, on a lap with a lot of scruffy places. There is definitely improvements to be made, although that was with a big run around the loop. We kept it above 200 miles an hour, which not very many vehicles have been able to do. It's not quite like the Ferrari 166, able to accelerate up around the loop, but so far nothing else has been able to, so I'm not surprised. It's heavier and got less power than the 166. Oh, don't do that, car. Oh dear, oh dear. Some big wobbling going on. Let's not forget, while we've got race tyres and race suspension and whatnot, this is still a chassis made in 1969. It was never exactly designed for almost 900 horsepower to be going through it. So it's doing a pretty good job so far of not completely murdering us. It's liking its oversteer, but it's not completely undrivable like it could have. I kind of feared it might end up being a little bit on the absurdo side, but it's doing okay for now. If we can just get rid of the little bits of oversteer, we would be looking pretty good. Up to 207 miles an hour this time off of the boost pad. That is always helpful as we run around this loop once more. Can we crack the 230? No, 228 is all we can manage. We could well be aero limited to that sort of a speed. A 34.9 again. That wasn't a once more not a perfect lap. We are quicker than the little Porsche that went around. If we can hold everything together, just stop oversteering. Your tyres should be warm enough now. Oh, that's risky. It's not a place you want to play. Again, regular viewers of this series, you will have seen what happens when you touch the sand at the sort of speeds these cars tend to be going around that turn 3. You have a very, very big accident. We got away with it, but at 120 miles an hour, it's a very, very fine line between getting away with it in a terrible crash. I don't want to be doing that one consistently. Much, much better this time around. It's 172 as we get on the brakes into the crossover point. I'm actually braking perhaps a little early in this car. The brakes are very good indeed at getting it slowed down. It is, of course, relatively light, and that will help, but sometimes the classic cars do still struggle with the braking. Not the case with the Dino. First little bit of oversteer from the car as we hit the boost pad across the jump. Don't twist, don't twist. Oh, somehow we got away with all of that. That was remarkable luck to have got away with all of that, but in fighting the car, I have shrugged off a little bit more speed around the loop. We're going to have a big stop into this final corner. Yeah, I can't believe we got away with so much twisting on the takeoff. We're into the 33s. It's a 33.3. It is a second place so far. We need another half a second, though. Can I get half a second in the Dino? I'm not sure where. I mean, we did lose a smidge of time across the jump and around the loop, but the rest of the lap was bloody good from the Ferrari. The gods of Forza have been very kind with the car this time around. Oh, that's trying to carry as much speed as I dare once more as 133. It's not the best through that, or leaving the split section. It's not the fastest we've ever seen, but it's pretty good. Again, for a car that's more focused on the power side of things, getting that much speed on that corner apex is good going. Oh, there we go. That's the ticket. Again, getting the power down. We're going full throttle in second gear out of that corner. Absolutely no problems. Oh, that was a real throw the car in. I am trying to be as brave and aggressive on the throttle here as I can possibly get away with, and it is currently just about working. Will we get another, in fact the best run we've had so far off of the boost pad. Now don't go too far to the inside, keep the speed above 200 miles an hour. You want to dive to the inside on the exit. 230 this time around. It's really close on the brakes. It's pretty much perfect. Is it faster? It is a faster lap. 3/10 were shaved off, but it wasn't fast enough quite. It wasn't fast enough quite, but I tell you what, that is a mega speed around this course. That is a mega lap. A 33.0 for the Dino. That is a hell of a car. That is a hell of a car around here. It is a little bit more focused towards the power end of the spectrum, but able to carry plenty of quarter speed on the oversteery end of the spectrum as well. But you give the car a little bit of respect and you'll get it around the corners, again, still with plenty of momentum. We come to the loop and, 230 miles an hour on the exit there is good. It holds 200 around the actual loop itself, which quite a lot of cars, even the real high-powered cars, can sometimes struggle too. So it's a combination of lightweight, decent amount of power, and pretty big tyres and good enough handling is, yeah, bloody fast. Bloody fast indeed. The 133.0 will put it into a second place. It is half a second clear of the RX-7 Hoonigan, but still 2/10 down on the Holden Commodore. It does break up the little bit of domination from the Golden Era cars, though. They had held the top 5 spots, kind of top 6 spots almost, with their times, but this 1969 Ferrari has ruined the party slightly. Still, the early 90s, late 80s cars do dominate the top of the leaderboard, but this Dino has proven that the classics can certainly still carry a lot of speed around here. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.